Hey community, my name is MiDian Holmes and I am the CEO for the Epitome of Black Excellence and Partnership. My Brother's Keeper is undeniably necessary. This is an organization that really fosters exactly what it is to ensure that we are protecting our young men of color. They need to be protected from all of those systemic barriers. They need to be honored. They need to be seen. They need to be leveraged. And My Brother's Keeper is creating and crafting spaces where they're able to really be in a place where they can thrive. When we see the rise in our young men of color, we see the rise in everybody, because they really, truly are the ones that are carrying us forward. We have to know that they are thrusting us through so much. They have to deal with so much. They navigate it gracefully. And My Brother's Keeper ensures that they have the space to identify with who they are and to show up and be unapologetic. Yeah, my passion for community and the courage that I leverage when I lean in and I show up, I think I can answer that in a couple of different ways. So the first thing I'll say is, I'm born and raised in Denver, and I love saying that out loud. So I'm 4th generation, my children are 5th generation, my grandchildren are 6th generation Colorado. So we've been here for a while and we ain't going nowhere. So with that, a lot of my elders were a huge part of curating the 5 points, the Harlem of the West, the things that have happened in the city of Denver from a lens of Black experience. I was able to sit at the knees of my elders and just listen to the stories of how they showed up, how they experienced triumph, tragedy, celebration, how they experienced all of it, and just the beauty of our history. So really, when you talk about the passion that I have, honestly, I think I just have gone from up next to up now. I think the courage comes from, I think I'm more afraid of not doing the work than I am of what the work takes. So I think that I would be more afraid of walking away than I would be from leaning in. I love being able to talk about stories of how my work impacts young people's lives and how that actually grounds me and rejuvenates my energy in the work. So one of the most recent stories, I think, is there was a young man that was facing expulsion in the Cherry Creek School District, and young Black man. And when we think about the statistics and the way that expulsion and suspensions have really targeted our young Black children, boys in particular, it really should grapple with all of us. And so one of the things that the Epitome recently stepped up to do was we stood in solidarity with a family of a young man that was experiencing that. And we decided, instead of just walking alongside and offering supports and information, we decided to show up for the expulsion hearing. And we were able to be a voice in that space to speak into the responsibility that the Cherry Creek School District has to see our young people as people. And so it was very interesting. After the expulsion hearing, I got a call from his dad, and he told me, he said that after we walked away and parted ways, he was looking for me just to say, like, who was that exactly? And he didn't see me because I had went another direction. And so in the car ride on the way home, he picked up the phone and called his mom and said, "Mom, you'll never believe what happened," and went to explain about our presence and me being present and standing there with him. And he used the words and said that she was like a guardian angel, because I looked for her and she wasn't there anymore. So I didn't understand, where did this woman come from? And all of a sudden she was gone. But she left a mark on this scary situation for me and stood for me. And I felt like she was a guardian angel. So when I heard that'll stay with me forever. Forever, forever, forever. I try to hold back tears as I explain the story, but that story will stay with me forever. Because I don't show up as a presence of an angel, but when you have an impact on someone where their faith or their spirituality or just the support affirms them that way, there's nothing like it. Yeah, some of the challenges I think that that our young men of color are facing, it really goes into multiple paths. So first off, there's the systemic, right? There are structures and systems that are designed to ensure that the brilliance of who they are, the excellence that they bring is stalled. It's unprotected. And that essentially can create a conditioned mindset that maybe I'm not fit for this, or maybe this is not my path. So the systemic pieces, I think, are and continue to be huge barriers that our young men face. I think also we have to hold the tension in our own community, understanding that we've been perpetuating some of these barriers. We've been checking the boxes on stereotypes, and that is something that we also as a community have to grapple with, and we have to hold that tension to, again, decide, are we at peace with that? And I'm sure the rhetorical answer to the question is no, we are not at peace. And so we have to hold the tension. And so as we talk about, what we can do and where we go from here with it, there's an opportunity for each of us to understand that even in our own space, in our own skin, we have a responsibility. We have to be a part of reconstructing and redesigning and reimagining the way that our young people have access to who they are. Because these barriers are not just keeping them from being able to move forward. These barriers are introspective, and it's keeping them from being able to really imagine who they can be. Oh my goodness. So community partnerships and collaborations are really at the grounding of the impact that someone can make. So the approach that I take is I ensure that I'm always self-checking to make sure that I'm not standing in a scarcity mindset. Oftentimes there will be a mindset of scarcity, and so we start to work in silos. We start to isolate our own leadership journey. And so really what I do introspectively is I ensure that I am always looking at spaces to learn. I have to continue to learn. I'm a forever learner. So that is one of the ways that those collaborations and those partnerships start to become real, because I'm looking for that mutuality. There's a reciprocity when you collaborate with someone. You gain and you give, and it just amplifies everything that you touch together. Oh, the hope of the impact for young men of color. Let me just start out by saying I dream about their joy all the time. I always am dreaming about the joy of those that come beyond me. So I think that in that dream, what I see is I see our young men of color becoming fathers, becoming mentors, becoming leaders, becoming influencers through the lens of who they are authentically. They don't have to conform. They don't have to code switch. They don't have to shift and adjust. They can go into spaces that they are called to go into, and they can be themselves authentically and create, design, be a part of something that is innovative and that essentially changes the world, right? I really do think that our young men of color are the drivers in where this world goes. Yeah, if there was anything that I wanted to leave behind about me and the work that I do, I think it's really like community. I just need y'all's support. I need you to show up when it's time to show up. I need you to send energy. I need you to be having conversations that are bold, that ensure that the Black excellence in our city is leveraged and it's protected and it's sought. We all can do this work together. And so with the epitome of Black excellence and partnership, one thing that we grounded ourselves in is we are reaping what our ancestors have already sowed. So many people have come before us and have done this work. It's time for us to bring it to harvest, because there's a feast waiting for us. So when we do our work, we protect the narrative of Black excellence. We believe all communities should thrive, and we unapologetically hold this space for Black excellence. On the partnership side, we are acting as a bridge for non-Black community to gain proximity to Black excellence. We want to make sure that these partnerships are safe for us and they're transformative. So that's the way that we've grounded ourselves in the work, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be in this space, and I'm privileged to be the CEO.